Hey, what's up, y'all? How's everything going, man? Been a little while, huh? Been a little while since we've been on the podcast scene. Been a little while. Been about 3 weeks now. But we back. We back. Got a new spot. We are gonna be recording in, and I'm shooting for Saturday as the first show for the podcast. Shooting for Saturday, and it's looking pretty good. Um, so I'm gonna do this is gonna be like a week in review. You know what I'm saying? Starting back at Saturday, the Errol Spence Danny Garcia fight, which was by far, I would say, the best fight of the year. It was a great fight. I'm not gonna go too deep in it, but it was a great fight. Errol Spence, I predicted him to win. It was shaky, but I just, I chose based on him being 100%, having no ill effects of the car accident. And he looked good. He looked real good. He was the bigger guy for sure. He was definitely the bigger guy. He was the more aggressive guy. He was way more active. Not way more active, but he was more active, and it seemed like he had something to prove. So he came out, aggressive, and the body shots. And Danny Garcia fought a great fight. Honestly, if Errol Spence Jr. fought the best fight that I ever saw him fight. I've never seen him perform so well, Errol Spence Jr. And it took that to win. It was because Danny was on. Danny was countering great, as he always does, which is his game. I feel like if Danny Garcia would have forced the issue a little bit more, he could have came out the winner of that fight. That split decision could have went his way. But he definitely got nothing to hang his head over. And so me personally, I feel like Danny Garcia would do really well at 140 or 135, and it's a lot of money to be made down there right now. It's a lot of dogs in the 135 and 140 division. So I feel like Danny Garcia would do well there. And but like I said, he fought his heart out. He fought against a naturally bigger guy, and he fought against the number one guy. I mean, let's be real. He fought against the number one guy. And then something as simple as the jab won that fight for Errol Spence. That because the power punches was pretty much even. Errol had a slight edge, and the body punches, they both worked well to the body. Danny Garcia worked real well to the body. They had a clash of heads in there, but that's southpaw and a orthodox fighter. That's going to happen. But I just say, Errol Spence is back. Great condition. He's in great condition. He was in great condition. And some lifestyle changes. He, I think he chilled out on the party, and I don't want to go I don't want to, bash him and stuff like that. But he's a young dude. He's a young man. So, party scene, drinking, little wild and reckless activities, case in point, the accident, driving that car over 100 miles per hour, very well could have turned out super bad, super bad, but it didn't, and through the grace of God, no broken bones, nothing like that, facial damage, dental damage, everything worked out in his favor. And like he said, he's back. And he also said everybody's going to get a turn, So what we want to see is him and TC, him and Bud Crawford. So Hopefully, he'll go celebrate, take this win as a blessing, because it could have, his life could have turned out way different, or his life just wouldn't have, wouldn't have had a life. So his life could have turned out way different. We saw the footage. Everybody saw the footage. So, it could have turned out way different. But, he came back, he did what he did, and he proved that he's probably the best welterweight in the world, and it can't take nothing away from him, can't take nothing away from him. So, we'll move from there. And just me personally, I feel like Danny would do better, back at 140. Or if he can make 135, I'm not sure. But he probably could, though, because he's not a big guy. Danny Garcia is not a big guy. So, but still, he fought. Dude, he fought flawless. He just fought a bigger guy, and he fought a better guy, and a guy that had a point to prove, being the best. And then you got a point to prove because everybody's doubting you. That in itself is scary. And he lived up to it. So, congratulations to Errol Spence Jr. Take life slow. You got a long way to go in life. Never mind the sport of boxing. You got a long way to go in life. You got 3 kids now that you're living for. So, the most congratulations to Errol Spence. So, we'll leave it there and move on to something that something more fun that I enjoy. College football. College football. COVID wrecked a lot of stuff this year, and it shook up the sports world starting last year, the NCAA basketball tournament. But they learned how to cope with it. We got a little bit of a handle on it, although it's starting to come back crazy right now. The sports world basketball had a bubble, and the NFL can't really do a bubble at this time because of, there's so many teams and so many players. But I feel like if when the playoffs start, there can most definitely be a bubble if they want to do it that way. A different type of bubble, not everybody all in the same place because of the number of people. But I feel like they can keep the guys fairly safe. But the big, the 2 heavy hitters in college football right now, the SEC and the ACC, they're everything kind of shook out the way it was going to shake out anyway. Everything kind of played out the way it was going to play out anyway. And the SEC championship is Alabama versus Florida. And it's usually Georgia, but Georgia has some guys leave. They graduate a lot of guys to the NFL, and then you still got to deal with the COVID. Like, you're going to have some guys that's going to miss some time, and coaches and things of that nature. So you may lose a game here and there, like over on the ACC side. Clemson lost to Notre Dame. Trevor Lawrence missed a couple games. But luckily for Clemson, they get a chance to avenge that, with Trevor Lawrence being there. They get a chance to avenge that. But the SEC championship game turns out to be Alabama against Florida. So those are going to be 2 crazy games, 2 exciting games. And then, so the winner of those 2 games probably going to go to the college playoffs. And maybe even the ACC loser, maybe, unless if I believe if Notre Dame wins, Clemson might not go because 2 losses might not get them in, but the strength of schedule may do it because you still got Ohio State to consider, in which they'll probably get in because they're probably going to win. I don't see no one beating Ohio State right now. They're solid top to bottom. So that's that for the big time college teams that was really on my mind. And even Nick Saban missed a couple games due to COVID. He actually had it twice. Nick Saban had COVID twice. So which is, I never heard of that. I'm pretty sure it can happen because it's just a transmitted virus. So I just never heard of it, especially at that level. Person in that position. But he's back healthy. They took care of business against Auburn. And then in the SEC championship facing Florida, which is going to be a crazy game in itself. So that's not going to be a cakewalk. Florida actually did some real good things this year. And they have 2 quarterbacks, if I'm not mistaken. So they're playing a double quarterback role, changing the pace a little bit whenever they can. And it's to their advantage, whenever it's to their advantage. So I feel like that's going to be big, and that's going to be something for Alabama to think about. Alabama's bringing a high-powered offense, which is going to pose a problem to Florida. So if Florida's defense is not on point and up to snuff, and they got to play a lights-out game that day in order to win that game, because Alabama is just like high octane. It's funny, they went from cloud of dust, you know what I'm saying? Cloud of dust in 5 yards and 4 or 5 handoffs to, cut 10 years later. They just airing the ball out all over the field. All over the field. They got 2 wide receivers went in the first round last year. They got a tight end went. Amari Cooper. And then they got Waddle. They got a few more receivers. They got about 7 receivers in the league. And then they got about 2 more probably that's going to go this year. So, and they'll be on their 3rd quarterback. Because regardless of where Jalen Hurts graduated, he's an Alabama QB. To me, he's always going to be Alabama to me. Then you got Tua, and now you got Mac. So, hey, that's amazing how they just switched that up. And they turned into what Florida used to be, which is high octane all the time. Running up 70 points here, 70 points there at the drop of a dime. So that's crazy to see. We see if Florida can take a dose of their own medicine, because it's coming. It is coming. Roll Tide, huh? And then on the ACC side, both of those teams is just like high octane. Notre Dame just came out of nowhere like 5 years ago. I mean, they always have been prominent, but 5 years ago, they've been on a crazy pace, recruiting, getting some of those top people, those top players that they usually never could get, because it was like a strain to get into the school. It's hard to get into the school. But now, they're getting those top players, and they're getting those dudes, they're keeping them, and they're locking them up, and they're growing those dudes. They are, and they turn into they lost a great quarterback over to Boston College. The quarterback at Boston College was at Notre Dame, and he's amazing, So that that's a lot to be said about them. And he felt like he couldn't stay on the field, so he ended up transferring. So that says a lot about about Notre Dame's recruiting over the last few years. That says a lot. But yeah, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like that ACC game is gonna be probably a little bit more exciting than probably the SEC game, because I feel like, you know, I kind of feel like Alabama is gonna end up just overwhelming Florida. I feel like they're gonna overwhelm Florida, you know, and I could be wrong. They might not, but I feel like they're gonna overwhelm Florida. Like start of the third quarter, middle of the third quarter. So I don't know that, but like I said, I could be wrong because Florida right now is different. So they actually flipped the switch and they're on the come up. So, you know, and then you got to figure out what them kids is made of. We don't know what them kids is made of. You know, they sick of hearing it. They're sick of hearing about Alabama. You know, they're sick of hearing about Alabama. So it's something to see. We'll see. We'll see. So, you know, right now we're about to jump into the NFL. So Pittsburgh Steelers ended up losing Tuesday. They ended up losing to the Washington football team. And I was gonna say partly, but now I'm gonna say mainly, solely due to Washington's front 4, 7, 11, whoever. They're unblockable. Chase, I think they got 5 first-round picks just on the D-line alone. They got 5 first-round defensive linemen. You know, and Chase Young is a stud. He's a generational player. If he don't get injured, he's going to be a Myles Garrett, a J.J. Watt type of guy. Just no getting around it. Like, he's doing things now, Jadeveon Clowney-esque. He can't be blocked. Was he 6'6", 280? I don't see no fat, maybe 4%. Quick off the ball, good hand moves, good hand fighting skills. He got about 4 moves. He got about 4 pass rush moves to go along with the crazy freakish quickness and athletic ability. So he's technically sound, and he got a mean streak. So hey, I feel like we're looking at a Hall of Famer if he don't get hurt. If he got a fairly injury-free career. He followed right behind the Bosa brothers, and he's just as good as them or better. He's just as good as them or better. So, I mean, I don't see how you could block him. Montez Sweat and those other guys, I don't see. They haven't been blocked yet. They haven't been blocked yet. They might not get the sack. Finish the play with a sack with the quarterback in his hand, but a lot of times the ball's gone. A lot of times the balls are popping out of their hand. Or a lot of times they'll still try to escape and they'll get 1 yard, maybe cross the line of scrimmage, and it ain't a sack. But those, I mean, they're just relentless. They're relentless, and they make the back end look good because all the pressure, the bad throws, the quick throws, the throws while you're in somebody's clutches, you know. They got something special. They definitely got something special, and they took down Pittsburgh, you know. Pittsburgh can't run the ball particularly well anyway, and then Connor being out, and they got the bad end of the deal with this COVID thing. Don't got COVID problems, but you always getting postponed due to COVID. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. It seems like they're the most penalized team due to COVID that don't got COVID issues. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But it is what it is. And they got to deal with. Everybody got to deal with it. But it just seems like every time it comes up, it's affecting Pittsburgh. So everybody signed up for it, so they got to go with it. And it is what it is. But wow, it's a thing. It's a real thing. This COVID issue is a thing. It just affected Dez Bryant, and it kind of affected him mentally because he tested inconclusive before the game on Tuesday night. Tested inconclusive. They pull him from the first warm-ups, the early warm-ups, test him again, rapid test, positive. And he just went on Twitter just like it was emotional for him because he was playing against the Cowboys, and he had a couple things he wanted to get off his chest playing wise that he could still play, and and then that happened. So it's just like he was just like, tested positive, whatever. And then he was just like, should the game be canceled first? Should the game be canceled? I know what that is because he wanted to play that game. So it's like, let's wait. Let's push it back like you do for everybody else, like you did for them already. He said, I tested positive, basically saying, I tested positive. I've been around everybody, so we should push this back, cancel this. I think that's what he was doing. I think. May not, but I think. And then he's just like, I can't do this. I'm done for the year. And I feel like somebody should talk to him, and just let him know everybody's dealing with this, not just you. There's nothing anybody can do except for, get healthy, God willing, and get back out there and keep pushing. Keep pushing. I mean, we know you don't need the money. We know that because Dallas did what Dallas does. They gave you a huge contract. So it ain't about the money. It's just about, for him probably, it's about playing that game for one against his friends and his owner, Jerry Jones, who's into paying dudes for no or low production. We're not even gonna get into that though. I did a video on that earlier on that game, on the Cowboys Ravens game, and it was it's just amazing how they pay all those guys that's not performing, but the person that's performing got a career-ending injury, but he didn't get paid. He got no security from you. He got a franchise tag, playing the most important position in the NFL. At that, I'll say second. I think the left tackle is the most important. But yeah, still, this guy, this Dallas Cowboy quarterback, get no love on a contract. None. And so, going back to that Pittsburgh-Washington game, even like up to the game, Pittsburgh been getting little to no respect. They've been getting the kudos for going 11-0 at the time. But I feel like people couldn't wait till they lost, and they're not they're not like a powerhouse 11-0, just housing everybody. But they got injuries. They got injuries also. They got some big injuries. They lost the middle linebacker, Devin Bush. Now they just lost the replacement, Spillane. I didn't see an injury report, so I don't know exactly, how injured he is, but they lost him also. So I don't know. It's just, we'll wait and see how it turns out, So now they're 11-1, tied with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I believe Pittsburgh would get the tie break because they lost to an out of conference team. I think, I'm not 100% sure. And Kansas City lost to the Raiders. So I'm not sure. But, in the midst of that game even, Spillane went down. Joe Hayden went down. So you don't know exactly what's going to come of this. And then that's two guys in routine. Your body's used to a certain thing. And then you keep getting games pushed back and moved here and playing here on Tuesday and all this other stuff. When your body is used to like your internal clock, like you get up every day at 5 to go to work. And then on your day off, you still get up at 5 with the alarm clock not set because that's every day. That's repetitive. That's an internal clock. So, guys' body is literally saying, I want to rest today because it's Tuesday, but we out here playing a football game. So my hamstring or Achilles or whatever that's used to being rubbed or iced or heated or whatever, now you're out there running on it, pop. That's how that happens, Hey, but we got to get these games done. This is no play, no pay. So they, signed up. If we're going to get the season going and we're going to do the best we can, injury, we're going to, the NFL is not going to move a game or stop a game due to competitive reasons. So Denver played a game once upon a time 2 weeks ago with no quarterbacks. Every quarterback was in the COVID list. So they had to get a guy from a retail store, get him to play a wristband, which is now in the Hall of Fame. So stuff like that. That's the type of, this is what we're dealing with. And then I wonder if he's back working his regular job or is he actually, if they did something for him other than pay him. Because, they Christmas is going to be nice, but is that just now or, you got me beat up. You made me look bad. You kick dirt on my name because I have more interceptions than completions. Yeah, it was bad. But that's what you sign up for. If you're the guy, that's what you sign up for. So now, with that being said, the NFL is what it is. The season's moving. Great. Steelers 11-1. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Everybody happy they lost. Boom. Let's slide over to the NBA because I'm kind of excited about the NBA. The NBA is coming, man. The NBA is coming in 2 weeks, I believe. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. The NBA is back. So what I came up with, I just want to do a top 5 teams since the Miami Heat went to the NBA Finals being a 5th seed. So I'm going to do top 5 teams in each top 5 teams in each conference. And then you can comment your top 5 or jumble some stuff around if you don't like mine, but this is mine. And I'm going to do an honorable mention in either conference. So I'll start with the West. So my honorable mention in the West would be the Pelicans. I just feel like, well, I hope Zion Williamson is healthy. I hope Zion Williamson is in shape. Let's say that again. In shape, Zion. Please come to camp in shape. Come to work in shape, please. Quit letting that be the knock on you. Come in shape. They got Steven Adams over there now too. And then to go along with with Brandon Ingram and Hart and Lonzo Ball, like, and they just missed the playoffs. So that should be a real good team. That should be a real good team. I took them honorable mention over Memphis. My fifth seed, I like Dallas. I like Dallas. I feel like if the unicorn wouldn't have got hurt, Porzingis, I feel like they would have beat the Clippers in that series. So I like Dallas. Fourth seed, I like the Jazz. I wanted Denver I wanted the Jazz as third seed, but I saw some clips of Bol step back threes in training camp with live with defense on him. So he's 7'3", step back three, playing defense on the perimeter, getting strips, taking the ball coast to coast, doing 6'3" things at 7'3". I like that. So I can't put Utah over that. Their 7-foot guy is a monster, shot blocker, defensive player of the year, rim protector, and he'll score. He'll get you 18, but he ain't hit no step back three. Michael Porter, like everything they did. Now you add more of Michael Porter, and then you add Bol into the mix. I just feel like, Denver is that third seed. And then, the two big dogs in the West, the Clippers, you got rid of Doc Rivers. Paul George said he wasn't using him correctly. Tyronn Lue was on the bench, right? Sitting there the whole time. Now he's on the bench, sitting there the whole time. He just slid down to the left one seat. He didn't disagree with the way Doc Rivers was using Paul George. He didn't make Paul George miss a bunch of shots, miss a bunch of games, not play defense. So what's going to be different? What's going to be different? PG, playoff P, what's going to be different? Maybe you just don't like Doc. Makes sense to me. Maybe you just don't like Doc. I mean, I'm not saying you sabotage him or nothing, but maybe you just don't like him. So you didn't give maximum effort, and your contract and your presence, because they think they're so close to winning. You knew they was going to pick you over Doc. And now let's be real. To me, Doc is he's a big time underachiever. I ain't gonna get into my personal stuff with Doc. I'm not gonna get into my personal stuff with Doc. I like Doc to a conference finals degree. I like him till he get to the conference finals, and then he aggravate the hell out of me, So, I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to get on Doc. But then they got Kawhi. They brought Serge over. They brought Serge Ibaka over. So, got a 7-footer now that can stretch. Now he can shoot the three. Serge will stretch the floor. And Serge will play defense. So, they lost Trez. They're probably going to end up losing Lemon Pepper Lou. They're probably going to lose Lou Williams. I think they're trying to get that whole regime up out of there. That bench mob, they're trying to get them up out of there because they had a problem with, the amount of games Kawhi and Paul George was missing, and Paul George and Kawhi had they had say-so with the practice schedule too. They was letting Kawhi still live in San Diego. So, like, what is that? So, and they should have had a problem with it, but this is a superstars league, and Kawhi's a superstar. He's a Finals MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, and I think he's a 3-time champion, right? 2 or 3-time champions. So that's the way it works. That's the way it works. And you know, they work hard. They're there all the time, blood, sweat, and tears. And then you let Kawhi miss, you know, 30 out of 82 games. You know, they don't work that way. You know, they don't like it. They spoke on it, and now Trez is out of there. And Trez came back to the bubble and didn't play all that well. Patrick Beverley got a lot to say about everything, and he's seventh best dude on the team, but he's the first person to say anything about anything, you know. So who's not there, and they're probably gonna be in there somewhere, is Golden State. I didn't forget them, but I don't feel like without Clay that they're gonna be able to, and then they don't have D'Lo. I don't feel like they're gonna be able to push for that Western Conference, you know. So my number one team to round out the Western Conference is ring ceremony opening game against the Clippers, the Lakers, Los Angeles Lakers. You got LeBron James, the best player in the league until my eye test tells me otherwise. You got Anthony Davis, top 5 in the league on the same team. That's hard to beat. Now you got Montrez coming off the bench. KCP played his behind off and got rewarded. Dennis Schroeder came over. LeBron said Kyle Kuzma's gonna have a breakout year. I mean, I don't see the Lakers losing. You know, I don't really see them losing in a series. You know, game or two here and there that could happen, but not in a series. You know, not in a series. I just feel like LeBron is just too much. I feel like LeBron is just too much. And they ended up with don't forget Caruso balling out of control. He's balling so much. He's balling so bad. They gave him a drug test when he's coming down the lane dunking on people. They got Marc Gasol. Wesley Matthews, another defender out there. Yeah, man, they read up Markieff Morris. So I just think they solidified their team and their place as the number one seed in the West. And I feel like they're probably gonna be I feel like they're gonna be in the conference finals again. I don't even see Portland making the playoffs this year. I just feel like those younger teams gonna have, you know, a year together now. Perspective, you know, they can look and see we made these mistakes here. And I'm talking about the players, never mind the coaches. We made these mistakes here. You know, we didn't take advantage of this. We was half-assing over here, you know, but we're professionals and we don't want people talking about us the way they talked about us last year. So we got to tighten up all these little things. And I feel like that Memphis and Pelicans is going to be fighting hard for that to make a name for themselves. You know, I feel like they're going to be fighting hard to make a name for themselves. You know, and that would round out the East for me. And that's just the top 5, not even the top 8. So them teams that I didn't name, they'll probably get in the playoffs. Golden State and Portland, just not, you know, I don't feel like they're a threat to win it. But again, top 5, that is, not top 8. So they're probably gonna get in the playoffs, and Houston and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So now we're going to slide over to the East. My top 5, not 8, top 5. My honorable mention for the top 5, I got to go Toronto. You know, they finished second last year. I think the moves that was made trade-wise and free agency and things of that nature, I don't feel like they did enough to get better, you know. And I feel so. I don't know if anybody else feel that way, but I feel like Kyle Lowry was he was kind of falling off last year. Van Fleet, I feel like the changing of the guards is happening. I feel like Van Vliet is taking over that team, you know, and but they could possibly slide into that top 5. That's why I got him as an honorable mention. But now we're gonna go to Philadelphia. We're gonna go to Philadelphia. Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers. I feel like Doc is gonna bring something they didn't have before, coaching wise. Meaning somebody that they're gonna listen to because he been there, constantly at the top of the heat, you know. So you got Tobias Harris, Dwight Howard. Who else? Tyrese Maxey's all right. I like him. I'm just trying to think like who's gonna go with those names. Seth Curry. Seth Curry is a elite level 3-point shooter, dad and brother. All that is so that's inherited. So he's that's inherited. But Danny Green, you got Terrence Ferguson, a wing defender. Danny, you know, so all that's gonna go with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Now, me, I would say get you a point guard and put Ben Simmons on the wing. I don't know if Doc feels that way. He might just let them do what they want to do because that's what he does. That's my only thing with Doc. Like he let the players run it to a certain extent. He'll tell you, he'll let you see for yourself. That ain't gonna work. Let it work. But with Philly, you already know that ain't gonna work from 4 years ago. The last 4 years, it hasn't been working. Hasn't been working the last 4 years. You know? So he should set the tone early with them. Because they're young still, fairly. But they're running out of time. Because to me, that team should have been broke up. So they're running out of time in Philly. But, you know, Doc's going to do it his way. And you just hope, you know, that it works out for them. Especially with those key additions. They brought some good guys in there. Seth Curry and Dwight Howard. They brought some good guys in there. So we hope that I hope it works out for them. Like I said, because you got the best big man in the league, hands down. And Anthony Davis. I'm like Anthony Davis is a big, but he's a freakish center. We got the best center in the league, hands down. You know, so in my number 4, I'm going with the Boston Celtics, and they brought in some guys. You know, they brought in some guys. They brought in Jeff Teague and Tristan Thompson, and I feel like that's gonna be big. I feel like that's gonna be big for them. You know, then you gotta get Robert Williams. You gotta get his head in the game. You know, so as of now, Kemba Walker's hurt. He's rehabbing. So he won't be back until the end of December. But, you know, you got Jeff Teague. You got Jeff Teague and Marcus Smart that's going to be probably sharing that point guard role. And then you got Carson Edwards and Tremont Waters also, but you're probably going to go Marcus Smart and Jeff Teague playing that point guard role until Kimba comes back, and then they'll move some things around. But you bring in Tristan Thompson, he's going to get on the boards. He's going to get to it on the boards. And Tristan Thompson might even be your starting center. And then Robert Williams will come behind him. But then you got Grant Williams that played great minutes last year. Daniel Tice played great minutes. I don't know what they're going to do with Taco Fall. If they're going to try it. I don't know if they're going to try it or not. But what you got now, what we're getting down to now is you got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Special. Both of them. Special. But I feel like the Celtics gotta, because Jaylen Brown can go for 25 at the drop of a dime. He's gonna play defense, and he's spectacular in the open floor. He's real athletic. But I feel like what Brad Stevens needs to let them do, he needs to relay this message to them. Jason Tatum is the guy. Clutch situations, Jason Tatum, and let him work. I feel like sometimes Jason Tatum will pass the ball and get ready to reset himself, and he just never gets the ball again. And I don't think he's the type of guy to say, right here. But I just feel like he's the guy, and you got to give him the rock and kind of get out of his way. That's just the way it is. So okay, now from there I'm gonna go to the defending Eastern Conference champions. The Heat got everything, man. The Heat ended up with Avery Bradley also. So Haslam's still on. Oh, I'm not joking. That wasn't a joke. Haslam's still on their bench. Yeah, he's still on their bench. So they didn't do a lot. Iguodala and all that good stuff. They didn't do a whole bunch. But they'll come back healthy. They'll come back rested. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like now it's probably time to kind of turn that over to Bam Adebayo's team. Jimmy Butler is the dude. But I think Bam is more equipped to carry them a little further. I believe he can carry them a little because you got your shooters. You still got your shooters over there. Hero and Duncan Robinson. Now you got Avery Bradley who can knock down the three as well. So I just feel like it's time to let Bam take the forefront and then Jimmy Butler close the games out. Or when there's a lag, when they start go up to court 3 or 4 times, turnover, missed shot, then Jimmy Butler get it, calm everything down. Jimmy buckets, get a bucket. I feel like that right there is a winning formula for them. That's what they did in the playoffs. Anytime they needed a score, Jimmy was on the free throw line, attack the basket, and then he'll just have a couple outrageous games, a couple 40-point triple-doubles. I feel like now they understand, we could get to the finals. We got to the finals. Not the conference finals. We got there too, but we got to the NBA finals. So now let's take it serious. Now Avery Bradley. Now you could lock up on, Kemba or whoever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I feel like that's gonna be big time, and scary now because they was the 5th seed and now look at them. So hey, I don't move them up that far from 5th to 3rd, but I feel like now they just got a whole different mindset that they can, and they got something they can build off of. Obviously, they went to the finals. So now we're gonna jump over to the Milwaukee Bucks. They got the reigning MVP, Giannis, one of the most unstoppable dudes ever. DJ Augustine. They got the shooter, Pat Connaughton, DiVincenzo. Drew Holiday's over there. Kyle Korver, another shooter. Brook is a shooter. Chris Middleton is just Chris Middleton was an all-star, Chris Middleton's an all-star. I think Marvin Williams, I think he retired. But regular season wise, they always flourish. That's why I got them at 2nd. Regular season wise, they always, win a bunch of games because they're out west, and then and Giannis is playing hard all the time. So when other guys on the team is lagging, they go out west, they play some teams that's Giannis alone is gonna beat some of those teams because just he's Giannis. I don't see a lot that they did to get better going forward, but seeding wise, they're 2nd on my top 5. And that's, really for that, that's that. I don't see them winning. I don't like the way they play ball. I like Drew Holiday a lot, but him and Chris Middleton, they may be able to shake some things up because Drew is a little bit. He's above Bledsoe, of course, obviously. So they might be able to do something, but I don't see them going. They could go to the Eastern Conference Finals pretty easy, because like I said, they play the Celtics. He's gonna be the biggest impactful player. They play Philly. He's the player in the series. You know what I'm saying? Because look what happened when they played Miami. Jimmy Butler was the alpha dog in the series for most of those series, other than the finals. And look, you see what happened. They beat all those teams because he was the alpha of the series. He was the best player in the series. I feel like Jason Tatum may have upped the notch, but other than that, I don't see anybody, that's gonna be like more. He's not to Giannis's level yet anyway. So if that comes down to that series, that's probably saying you're gonna get the same result, as you got before. So, I just feel like that's that. And listen to this. From 8 to 1, I got Brooklyn as the number 1 seed in the East. Spencer Dinwiddie. They got Bruce Brown over there now, so a secondary defender coming off the bench. He's gonna hassle your guards. He's crazy athletic. He's gonna hassle your guards, and he's gonna score the ball too. He's gonna score the ball. They got the rim protector, Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan. They got Jeff Green. So you get Jeff Green, Bruce Brown coming off the bench, Tyler Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's quality coming off the bench. Torian Prince. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then all these dudes had to play this year. Shamit, uh, Dinwiddie, and all those guys they had to play this year because Kyrie and Kevin Durant was down, not in the bubble. So you add an 8th seed. You take an 8th seed, and then you add DeAndre Jordan, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Need I say more? And then you already know Kevin Durant could take a series over. Let them luck up and get well, not luck up, but let them fall into the NBA Finals. And Kevin Durant will have 35. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 games. How many ever take? There's nothing that can stop him from getting 35. If he's 90% healthy, there's nothing that can stop him from getting 35. So, and then you got Kyrie Irving, magician with the ball, self-proclaimed second best finisher now behind Kevin Durant. It's just so much, and like it's a lot into that. It's a lot of layers with that statement, but they got a team now in Brooklyn. New York basketball is just back on the map. Kyrie and KD went to the Knicks. The Knicks would have been back on the map. Now Brooklyn is on the map for real. Like, do you know how crazy it's going to be in New York now? Because you could pretty much say we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals because of those two guys mixed in with the rest of that team. DeAndre Jordan, Dinwiddie, and LeVert. That nucleus of Jarrett Allen, dude. That's going to be that team right there is going to be a force. That team is going to be a force because you got a strong bench because all those guys had to play in the playoffs. Like, and they played. They didn't just get beat up. They played. They lost. They was outgunned. But Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving added on to that. Hey, tell me what you think. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Check the podcast on all major streaming services. The Real Mojo Point of View Sports Reviews. Check me out there. Oh, man. Brooklyn, huh? Drop a comment below. Tell me who your top 5 is. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Jumble some stuff around, put it in the bag, jumble it up your way, reach in, grab out your top 5. Let me know. But that was mine, and I will see y'all later. All right, y'all be good.